Imagine this. A cold case, a mystery that's been sitting on a shelf for 4 long years. The trail has gone completely dead. And then a single anonymous email arrives, and it points to a clue that's been hiding in plain sight on one of the biggest websites in the entire world. Today, we are deconstructing the incredible case of the Street View witness.
So, picture it. It's August of 2023. A detective in Jacksonville, Florida, opens his inbox to find an email with just that one sentence and a link. That's it. It could have been a prank, maybe just spam, but that one link was about to blow a 4-year-old cold case wide open. It was totally anonymous, a complete ghost, but it had one tiny detail that made detectives stop everything. It mentioned the name of a real missing persons case, one that had pretty much been forgotten. To really understand the impact of that one single link, we have to go back. We're rewinding 4 years to the day a man just vanished. So, let's talk about Eric Wallace. This was a man of habit, a guy who worked 6 days a week, saw his parents every Sunday. He lived a quiet, predictable life. And that's exactly what made his sudden disappearance on August 10th, 2019, so completely baffling to everyone. His last day seemed, well, totally normal. He went to a barbecue with some friends, said his goodbyes just before 9 p.m., and told everyone he was heading home. But somewhere on that short drive, Eric Wallace just disappeared off the face of the earth. And then the discovery of his car just made things even weirder. It was found locked, totally undamaged, sitting in a grocery store parking lot. No signs of a struggle, no broken windows, nothing. It was like he just parked it and walked away forever. Inside, it was even more confusing. His wallet? It was there. His keys? Yep. All his work papers? The only things that were gone were Eric and his cell phone. You know, with no evidence of a crime and no phone to ping for a location, what could police do? They had to consider the possibility that maybe he just left on his own. With absolutely no leads to follow, the investigation stalled and the case went cold. And that's where it stayed, just another cold case file collecting dust. Until that bizarre email showed up in 2023. And the link inside didn't go to some forum or news story. No, it went directly to Google Street View. When you click the link, the scene is just so ordinary. Manicured lawns, a few palm trees, a quiet suburban street soaking in the sun. It looks like a million other neighborhoods. But hidden in this digital photo was the answer to everything. And right away, the first piece of the puzzle just clicks into place. The timestamp. The image was captured on August 12th, 2019. That's just 2 days after Eric Wallace was last seen. By pure, unbelievable chance, the Google car had driven down that street at the exact right time. So as the detectives start to zoom in on the driveway of this one blue house, that ordinary scene, it turns into a nightmare. Lying on the ground next to a trash bin is the figure of a man face down. The posture is just wrong, unnatural. And you can see a dark stain on the concrete right beside him. But here is the part that is just absolutely mind-blowing. It wasn't just what was in the picture. It was how long it had been there. For 4 years, this silent witness, this potential crime scene, had been publicly visible on Google Street View. Anyone could have seen it. But no one ever noticed. So with that one photograph, this ice-cold case was suddenly on fire. The house in the photo, it belonged to Eric's own neighbor, a guy named Daniel Pike. And with this one lead, investigators started chasing a whole trail of digital ghosts. Suddenly, Pike's original story from 2019 started to completely fall apart. Back then, he'd claimed he hardly even knew Eric. Well, now police had a photo of what looked like a body in his driveway, not to mention cell phone data that put Eric's last location right on his property. So investigators get a warrant and they seize Pike's old security DVR. And even though most of it had been recorded over, forensic techs worked their magic. They managed to pull a tiny, corrupted fragment of a video from August 12th, 2019, and it showed Eric Wallace walking into Pike's driveway, but never walking out. And the digital trail, it just got darker. On an old laptop they found, they uncovered these internet searches, all made right after Eric went missing. Pike wasn't just aware that the Google car had been there, he was terrified of what it might have seen. With this mountain of evidence, investigators brought in ground-penetrating radar to Pike's backyard. And, behind a storage shed, they found disturbed soil. The search for Eric Wallace was finally, tragically, over.
Faced with the Street View image, the phone pings, the security video, and now the discovery in his own yard, Daniel Pike's story just crumbled. After 8 hours of questioning, he confessed everything, and it all started over something so small, so mundane, an argument about money for some repair work. But it escalated, it turned violent, and in a moment of panic, Pike killed his neighbor. He dragged Eric's body behind the trash cans, planning to bury him that night, and he never, ever noticed the silent, automated witness driving right down his street. So the case is solved. The killer confessed. But that still leaves one big, lingering question. After 4 years of total silence, who was it that finally sent that email? To this day, nobody knows. Was it some amateur internet sleuth just exploring the world from their computer? A former neighbor who always had a weird feeling? We just don't know. The person who sent the email has never been identified. They're a total mystery. This whole case is just a chilling reminder of the world we're living in now. The evidence wasn't locked away in a file cabinet. It was public. It was online for everyone to see, and it was just completely overlooked. The truth was right there, just waiting for somebody, anybody, to zoom in. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? As we all click and scroll through these digital maps of our own world, what other secrets, what other stories are just sitting there, hiding in plain sight?